Hi, I'm Nyesha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Politics is Local with your host, rJo, Winch, and I have my favorite guest here today. I have LORRE from The Relationship So. So welcome, LORRE.
Thank you,
to All
rJo.
Politics is Local.
Good to be here.
Again,
Good to
I
be
have one announcement that it's going to be a special harvest for giving, delicious variety of hordes over chores, hors d'oeuvres, and 10 wine varieties to sample. I always wanted to say that. Okay, it's a semi-formal dress code, and it's going to be on, this says October 31st. That is already over. They already had that event. So for those of you who came to the African American Parade Committee event at Union Station, thank you all for your participation. However, the next event that is going to be The Purge. It's some young people, some young women who are doing an event on Saturday, which is this evening, at the taping of this show, November 23rd at 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. I was gonna try to go. I have so many things planned. I might try to just drop in if I can't stay the whole time. And the event is gonna be, the location is downtown Hartford Marriott at the Convention Center, which is located at 200 Columbus Boulevard here in Hartford, Connecticut. So if you can come by, by all means come by. If not, contact Charity at 203-638-4004 and make a contribution. Now, these are young people trying to get involved. This is a parenting advisory organization. And so, speaking of parenting and advisory, now, LORRE, let's get into this conversation here. A couple of days ago, well, matter of fact, it goes back about maybe a month ago, there was a school, Clark Elementary School, and Achievement First wanted to come into the school. Actually, I think they wanted Achievement First to take over Clark Elementary. And the parents got together and said, no, we don't want it. Because when you have some charters and some magnet schools, it's a 70-30% ratio. So only 30% of the kids who live in the specific town get to attend the school. So kids could be living like right across the street and can't get into the school building.
Oh, wow.
So parents are in opposition to that type of thing. However, Sands Elementary School, located on Main Street in the city of Hartford, Capital Prep, one of the top schools in the state of Connecticut, who gets national attention for their performances. 100% of their kids over the last 5 years have gone to college, whether it was a 2-year college or a 4-year college. But the idea is every single child goes to college. It's a K through 12th grade school, so the kids know the teachers throughout the progression. They all kind of like grow together. So it has its pros and cons. You have some classmates that you don't like, well, you're stuck with them. You're going to graduate together on the other end. But the idea is that it's a model that works because it requires parental involvement. So whenever there's parental involvement, the teachers kind of build a relationship with the parent, so it makes it easier to teach the child. Now, they wanted to bring that model to Sands Elementary School, but because the teachers union doesn't have, great relationship with the principal of Capital Prep, they lobbied some parents to say no, that they didn't want Capital Prep to come into Sands School, even though the facts are it's a failing school. It has dismal, test scores. The kids are really not disciplined and not learning. They get X number of parents to say, no, we don't want that to happen.
Wow, that's heavy.
So they're having a meeting I'm told on Monday, which is, what's Monday? The 26th?
The 25th. The 25th.
The 25th. Mm-hmm. On Monday the 25th. I didn't find out what school it's going to be at. But anyway, the Harvard Board of Ed is having their meeting on Monday, November the 25th. This is rJo. This is not the Board of Ed. It's not anybody else. This is rJo. I am going to be advocating for parents to come to that meeting and hear them out. They don't want to do the same thing. They're not trying to have Capital Prep take over Sands. They want Capital Prep to come into Sands, kind of like what they're doing right now. If you live in Hartford, you know exactly where these schools are. Kind of like what they did over at Thurman Milner School with Jamoke Academy.
Oh, wow.
Jamoke Academy
It's a wonderful school, by the way.
Exactly. Jamoke Academy coming into Milner. So it's Jamoke at Milner. They didn't take it over. It's still Milner's school. So, but Jamoke's working as a partnership with Milner.
So wait a minute, are the teachers of the other school helping out? So when you say take over, can you be more specific as to what does that consist of?
Yeah, because you have charter schools, you have magnet schools, and you have
Right.
community schools.
Right.
So charter schools are ran by the state. Magnet schools are basically ran by the city, but they have state mandates.
Right.
And that's the 30-70 rule, where only 30% of the kids come in, because with magnet schools you got to have, you know, a certain amount of ethnic groups in there to maintain your magnet status. So basically you got to have, you know, Caucasian kids coming in to black schools
Right.
in order for you to maintain that status.
Right.
With a charter school, those kids come from the community. With a community school, same thing. They come from the area of the community. So you don't have that same, you know, type of ratio. You have different standards, and then they have more rigorous, you know, academic schedule, and parents have to be involved in the school system. So the only difference between, you know, the magnet school coming into your school and you becoming a magnet school is that the same kids who there right now are the same kids that'll stay at the school. But what the teachers union did, that they scared the parents into thinking that, oh, if this becomes a magnet school, if Capital Prep comes into your school, and let me put this out there for a disclaimer. The principal did not ask me to make any of these comments or anything to do with this school. I just think that it's such an oxymoron that we continue to let people come into our community and tell us what's best for our kids. Now that's why, you know, I'm doing this. So the idea that you know the kids are failing, you know their test scores are dismal, you know that Capital Prep, which is right at the corner, you know, of the same street where the school is around the corner, does a phenomenal job with their kids. So why wouldn't you want that same model for the kids over at Sands School?
So are they doing that? Are they going to create that model? For
They
the-
want to.
Okay,
They want to.
But the union is discouraging?
The union is lobbying parents to say no, that they don't want it. But here's another dismal reality for the people who are listening. Those people don't have kids in the school. Those people don't live in the city of Hartford. Those people, kids aren't the ones who are failing. So why do you listen to them?
Well, hopefully the parents of Sand have enough confidence in themselves to say, let's look at the facts for what they are and then determine. They should not be influenced by the union. I agree.
Exactly.
shouldn't.
So because these are our kids, and I say our kids because these are my kids,
Minority
you know, that
children,
I
that's
live right there. Those kids belong
In
to
Hartford,
me.
that's
You know,
right.
those are kids who look like me. Those are kids who live in my neighborhood who go to that school.
That's right.
So I don't need somebody coming from the outside telling the parents who live there what their kids ought to have, when the parents themselves know that they might have great relationships with the people in the building, but at the same time, those people are going to stay in that building, but they're going to be under a different curriculum, they're going to be under a different mandate, and they're going to come under a different training. So they will receive the training that they need so that they can get more positive results out of the kids. Because right now, 70% of the kids are failing. So why do you want to keep that?
Right, I agree.
See, so the thing that really bothers me, that we too often, you know, our parents are working hourly jobs. They don't have time to come to the meetings, and they try to have the meetings at 3, 4 o'clock.
Intentional.
Okay, if I don't get off at 6,
So
how am I get
lack
to a
of
meeting at 4
representation,
o'clock?
Lack of parent representation.
Okay.
It's a strategy they're using.
Right.
I understand, but at the end of the day, what if I am a parent that's watching this show and my child goes to the Sand schools? What can I do?
Right now, you should get to that Board of Ed meeting on Monday, because they have an open forum where parents can speak. I'm going to try to make myself available. I got to get somebody to come in so that I can get there. I think the meetings are at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. So you got to get there so that you can advocate for what is going on. And trust me, rJo, I will be right there to say exactly what I said to you. I don't understand how people who don't have a child inside the building, don't live in this city, have no vested interest in these kids getting a good education from an excellent school right around the corner from where they live, to come in and say, oh, go and tell the board you don't want that. No.
Right.
You know, like you said, they should be informed. They should look at the test scores at the school that they're in. Look at the test score of the school who wants to come in and partner with them. They don't want to come in and take over. Your kids are going to still go to this school. It's not going to have a magnet ratio because it's not a magnet school. It's a community school. So the magnet school is coming in to help the same way that Jamoke is into Thurman Milner School right now. They have a partnership because of the same thing that was happening. So now they've been in there for more than 2 years, and so it's working wonderfully. So they want Sands to have the same relationship with Capital Prep.
I don't see this being an issue. I think that with this meeting on Monday, they're going to bring the minds together, and they're going to determine that it is in the best interest to have Capital Prep come into Sands school system. I don't foresee that being an issue because
the issue
they used it previously with Jamoke and
they've already proven that it works.
Okay, so it works. So what's the issue?
Because the teachers union
I understand
have
that,
a personal...
But if they actually have facts to show that it worked, this operating model worked with this other school system, Jamoke and Milner, then all they have to do is substantiate that at that meeting, and it should be a moot point. They should be able to do it.
Well, they will be rJo. That's the point I intend to make.
Yes.
That this is a working
So you are
relationship
bring
that's
that
already
up.
happening.
Yes.
Exactly. And so if it happens there, it can also happen here. They're going to come in to help. They're going to come in to get the kids' grades up. They're going to come in there to make sure that kids in the 3rd grade can read. My granddaughter in the 2nd grade, she goes to Capital Prep. They're already starting to do algebra and multiplication, and she's in the 2nd grade.
Wow.
And she's reading above grade level, but that was, she's reading basically before she got there.
Yeah,
but now that her vocabulary is being extended, and other things are happening as a result of being in a school where it's basically, really stringent behaviors. And when their behaviors are bad, there's consequences, and there's not a lot of kids getting suspended. See, in the public schools and the community schools, as soon as a child misbehaves, the first thing they want to do is send them home. But no, there they deal with the issues that a child understands that this behavior is not tolerated. See, so and that's a better model rather than suspending kids, calling the cops, having children in elementary school get criminal records. That's not what you should be teaching.
That's ridiculous.
See, but when you don't understand the community and you come from outside, inside, you want to dictate to what's going on. You don't have a relationship with the parent. The parent don't respect you. You don't respect them. Then how is your child going to learn in the school?
I agree.
See, and then the expectations are so low. Well, the Johnny can't read. He's in the 5th grade. You know what? We'll just dummy him down and give him books for the 1st grade. No, he's in the 5th grade. You pick him up. Don't give him, what 1st graders are having when he's in the 5th grade. You're setting the child up for failure. And if the child decides they don't want to do something in a community school, well, Johnny don't want to do that, so, we're just going to pass that by. No, Johnny, get in gear and get it done. See, that way you're preparing them for what's going to be happening on the outside. Because you run a red light. You go tell the officer, I don't want to pay a ticket.
I know, right?
That's not going to be acceptable. You get caught speeding. Don't give me a speeding ticket because I don't feel like paying for that.
I know.
But those are the kind of things that the kids are being taught, that if you don't like something, you have the right to speak on it, and it's going to what? It's not going to change. You're still going to owe the ticket. You're still going to reap the consequences. Whether you like it or not is a moot point.
Absolutely.
So, for those of you who are listening, for those of you who will be getting this site by Facebook, by Twitter, by whatever other means, by YouTube, I'm going to send them out to everybody. I want you to make sure that you get to that meeting. If you have a child in Sands Elementary School or know people at Sands who have children to go there, you want to have Capital Prep come into your school to build a partnership to make sure that your child can do better, to have them prepared for the future. You don't want to continue to have substandard reading and math and your child's behavior, is not in check. Let the school help you to raise your child. All right? Because not one of us could do this alone. We all need help.
Absolutely.
Mine too. And I'll tell people in a minute, you see mine out there, you check her. You call me, let me know. I'm going to check her when I get her home. All right? Because that's what the village do. The village keep kids out of prison because we all work to make sure that they all fully understand that we love them. And we want each and every child to be successful. So we want to thank you all for tuning into this segment of All Politics is Local with your host, rJo Winch. Be sure to tune in regularly to Channel 8 to All Politics is Local. And catch us on The Relationship Show. If you have questions, make sure that you send your questions in. And then in January, wonderfully, in January, Lori and I will be live. So you all can call us and we will actually be able to answer those questions on the spot. And Lori, don't be answering the questions bad.
What? I'm very open with regards to those questions. I look at this as an opportunity to give my opinion. If it comes off as being a little butt, I'm sorry. But you're going to hear what I got to say.
All right, you heard it from Lori from The Relationship Show. So we'll see you next time on All Politics is Local.